All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Eric. I've been looking around on Plugy, trying to figure out some stuff, trying on all sorts of different classes builds, trying to find something that worked. I think the most fun in this game I've had so far is just trying different builds and trying to make stuff work, and taking things that aren't necessarily in the mainstream and trying to make them good. Flame Bellow, I think, was an attempt at that. Obviously, it was already a strong build. It already been talked about a lot. After trying all different classes, all different things, a lot of on-striking stuff, a lot of trying to maximize classes synergies with maybe an on-hit Holy Bolt or an on-hit Bone Spear. Nothing really seemed to work that great. Necro frames are terrible to hit, and they're not very good when you hit max frames, like attack speed, whatever. But all that being said, I ended up back on the Barbarian just to see what else you could potentially do with this fire build. And I did find something that I think works pretty well. You can already see from my gear, but I'm using 2F Balrog spears. Now, these are good because they do add a lot of fire damage and fire pierce, but I just wanted to take a second and go through the build from what I've been able to figure out and maximize as best as I can. You'll notice initially that I'm not running Infinity. I don't think it's better. I'll explain why as I go through the build. But we'll get to the Mercenary. I'll talk about it. So let's go into the build again. Here we go. We do have our 3-socketed Kiras. So it's going to give us 3 fire facets, giving us a nice pierce and nice fire mastery. We do have a Rising Sun with +1 all skills. I don't think +1's necessary. It's just kind of what I landed on. Maybe ED. But yeah, there's a couple. I don't think it's super huge what the plus or the corruption does. These Balrogs are also unslammed, so you could always slam some faster increased attack speed. But I'll show you why that's probably not necessary. It might help, but yeah, I'll go through it. Here's a 3-socketed Corpsemourne. Here's Hellmouth with increased attack speed slam. Here is just a Wisp Projector, helps you with that AR, gives you a little more ED. Don't know if this is entirely necessary either to the build, but it does help, I think. Nosferatu with slammed Ias, and here's just a dual leech ring with some increased resists. Resists are nice there. And Gore Riders just for that little extra damage. Again, likely not totally necessary. You might be able to run War Travs or something like that. In fact, I'll throw some War Travs on. I think that's probably going to be a better setup. Kind of forgot about the boots. Again, as you're seeing me run through this is Plugy, so bear that in mind. But I am a level 90, so I'm trying to make it a little more realistic. And then we have some just random fire skill charms, some lifers, some faster run walk, hit recovery, some fire damage, which is that's gonna be hard to find, but either way. We have 1 charm with dodge, fire damage, and run walk. We have our Annie, our torch. We just have some maps to do here. I am gonna mess around with this near the end, but again, Metal Grid with Infinity. It's a little silly. I hate having doing full commit builds like that, because you do have to sort of babysit your Iron Golem, and I did try him out, and he dies, so it's not really worth. And then Mercenary, we are running Faith with Vigor aura, so she's got Faith. She does have Flickering Flame, which again gives you that increased fire damage. She does have Dragon, which there you go, it adds a fire aura. So we're gonna get increased damage from that. And then just survivability stuff. I could give her better boots, but that's just what I had. And this enchant will add a little more fire damage too, which is nice. So like I said, I did not need to worry too much about the slams here, because you will see right now with just plus 20% from slams, I am at my second to last breakpoint. Now this is just not going to be feasibly achievable. It does feel very nice to hit it. I put a ridiculous 107% increased attack speed small charm that Plugy has for you just to try it out. Feels good, but it's not necessary. You still do just fine without it. And I did try a build with an Infinity Mercenary, but again, you lose the Vigor and you're 4 frames lower, you're way down here with your increased attack speed. So this is kind of what I think is the best setup. So skill is really quick, just enough to wear your gear. 163 is all I needed. I think I was at like 140 something. Dumping into dexterity. I didn't put anything in vitality. This is just what I got from gear and charms. And when I shout, that's plenty, right? So 1430, that's plenty for a thrower, I think. I think I've been through everything. Lastly is skills. So enough to max battle command, because you're trying to squeeze out some physical damage into the build as well. Got battle cry just to break any immunities if I have to, like a fire plus physical. Obviously maxing throw mastery. I max run walk because I just want to zoom around on this build. I think the faster the better. And then 1 point and everything else. And I maxed out double throw, and then I dumped into double swing because it just helps with the synergy. I'm not using frenzy with this build. I don't want to get too close, and I'm already fast enough. I don't think I need to be faster. So that's a quick rundown of the build. I don't want to go too much more into it. We'll get into a cal map real quick. Lastly, I'll summon my wisp. And I'll show you guys the build. So there's our attack speed. Again, this is the second to last breakpoint, but you're doing some damage, right? I mean, you definitely are doing some cool damage. Lots of cool fire. You know, you're summoning orbs, or you're summoning meteors. You're summoning molten boulders. You got your mercenary summoning the hydras. And last but not least, and I think really important here, is you're summoning the reanimates, right? So for a class that's going to try to go more glass cannon, you just have so many reanimates that it's helping you out immensely. Let's see if we can break this. So there we use battle cry to break that immunity. That was a physical and fire immune. So it took us a little bit to get him down, but you're not going to run into those all too often. And all the while, all our reanimates are still just tanking damage. My mercenary, Kyle's still good to go. I was able to do that without issue. Is that another physical fire? Look at that. So, not always you're going to get that, but there you go. We handle it pretty well. I did put this build in the Barbarian chat just to check it out, and one of our double throw experts was saying, you know, it's just not that enough damage that you want to see, but he did say that really throw at this point is not doing the damage that it used to do in general. So I don't necessarily think it's something that's wrong with the build, and more so just wrong with throw as it currently stands. It's kind of in a bummer spot, but again, either way, I think it's still super strong. I think it's still super cool. You got this giant army. They're zooming around with you. You're summoning all this fire. You're in a nice safe spot from the back. So it's a little mix up from my Flame Bella Barbarian build. Here's a fire immune that you handle pretty well. So your physical damage is still doing pretty solid amounts. So you know, you can even get some like ED slams here. You could probably pump a little bit more ED into the build. You know, maybe an ED necklace would be cool. So yeah, you're doing pretty well. But there, I just wanted to show that to you. In cows, why don't we move on? We'll go to a different map. And we'll do some sewers. Now sewers does have a fire immune. But I think this has some cows in it. Look at that. Cows, you can't escape them. So sewers does have fire immune. I think it's the little the flayer guys. Yeah, these fetishes. Yep, they're immune to fire. But I'm not even worrying about them. They're still dying pretty fast from all our physical damage. So again, I'm gonna say a fair amount of this is user error. I'm not as fast as I should be. What I think some throwers need to be. I just haven't been playing throw long enough. At the same time, this is not all user error. There could be more damage in this build. This is just, I think, what I was able to come up with that is quality of life, you know, realistic speed, with as much fire damage as possible. Like I said, you can create a golem with infinity, but I mean, just look at this, right? Like we're moving through you know, we're still hitting them, we're still doing damage, and our army is just keeping up with us. So I think it's pretty cool. I feel very safe playing this. Again, I am new to throw. Not new, I just don't play throw enough. So even with my kind of lack of talent with throw, I'm still feeling like I'm able to do it, move through, no real issues, and it's fun. It feels good. Right, let's see if the boss is up here. That would be nice. I can show you a boss. No, unfortunately he's not going to be here. But I'll see if I can get to the boss in the last Zoltun Kulle. So we'll keep moving through. I'll do a quick Zoltun Kulle. Right, the only real setup for this build is just going to be get your reanimates out. And you know, I'm killing the first pack, and I already have a couple up. But otherwise, it's just doing your normal shouts and getting your wisp out. You know, and again, here's my stats. Double throw, I mean, I got plenty of rating here. My attack rating's just fine. So you could always not use wisp. You could always throw on like a BK ring to get some extra ED. You could throw on a normal crafted ring. The nice thing with double throw is that you do have, or excuse me, the nice thing with Balrog spears, you do have built-in increased leech. So I have plenty of life leech. I'm at 25, so you know, they can go up to 12 life leech on each of them. So I'm not too worried about how much sustain I need. I have my mana leech from my dual leech ring. So really no issues there as far as keeping yourself alive and keeping yourself moving. And I'm zooming around just fine. I don't need to go up front and use frenzy. So all in all, it's pretty cool. It's a fun little variation of the build. It gives throw a little different flavor, because right now it's just literally just find an amp stick, find a high ED weapon, and go for it. My wish list for this build is to be able to utilize Infinity without having to tank my move speed, tank my attack speed as much as I have to, because it does feel super slow once you go Infinity. Yes, it's technically more damage, but technically more damage per spear, but if you're not throwing as many spears, if you're throwing like 4 times as less amount of spears, sure, if they're stronger, it's not really going to matter. I'd rather throw more spears and do a little less damage per spear. So I think we're making our way to the boss. So we'll kill the boss, and then we'll what we'll do after this is we'll try on the we'll try the Infinity Golem just so you guys can see it. I just want to kill this boss real quick. You know, I'm getting hit by these pretty good, and again, my sustain is so high that it's not really hurting. Not really doing a whole lot. And remember, we're only level 90, so... Alright, so here's boss. I'll show you the damage I do to him. But he takes down pretty good. Not great. I mean, it still takes a minute, but not a minute, but it still takes a little longer than like the Flame Bellow was doing, and probably a source of amp damage would be nice just to increase the physical damage I'm doing. But I think you can figure out a couple different ways to build this. This is just what I've figured out at this point. Let's go. So the way Plugy works, I actually have to relog again to do this. It wouldn't have let me select the skill if I didn't relog. So let's just get him going. Let's show a couple maps real quick. Right, so I'm still at the good break point. I do now have Infinity. So the fire resist is really lower. So I mean, yeah, again, you're doing more damage. Like I haven't lost anything. Again, this is not what I was talking about in like you're sacrificing attack speed and whatnot. That was more me talking about if I went infinity on a mercenary, right? If you do it on the Iron Golem, you get everything, right? You get it all, but you already look at him. He's already half HP. I have to babysit the hell out of him, right? And he's zooming around with Vigor Aura, which sucks. You know, if he was a ranged caster, if he was someone who just kind of sat back with me, that would be great. And sure, I could maybe run Enigma and have a way to like get him out of the mix with teleport, but again, you're going to lose damage from that. You're not going to get your army. So it's really just not feasible, in my opinion. It's not worth it. It's not realistic. It is way high investment of again 2 burrs, 6 HR basically, with the fear that you might lose him, right? He might run into a pack and just get one shot because he's not that high of level, right? Your golem spawns with the item level gear you have on, right? So every game I come into, my golem is as strong as my plus skills that I have. Okay, so, and I don't have that many plus all skills, right? But again, it's strong, it's awesome, it really is cool to have that infinity plus the fanaticism. Yeah, maybe I could run a infinity mercenary with fanaticism iron golem to hit that breakpoint, but you're running into the same problem of having that high investment of then you don't even get vigor aura. So a lot of things kind of happen when you try to do this stuff. That's why I think just having that, not having the golem. I'm surprised he doesn't die off. I thought he died off if you take off the... No, I don't know. I guess he's not dying off. But anyway, that's the build, guys. That's what I was able to come up with. Pros and cons, I would say real quick. Pros, you're not having to worry about 2 flame bellow swords, whether they're ethereal or not ethereal, having to put 4 facets into each of them. A little bit cheaper in that sense. You're still using these, right? Because I think these are going to help maximize your fire damage. Not so much expensive on this route. That won't cost you that much. Maybe an HR or 2 early on. Maybe same with this. This you can pretty much get for free with no slam. I don't think the slam is very necessary. These are still going to cost you a decent amount. But again, these extra things on them are not necessary. You could just go all plain 4s. Right. So there's gear, pros and cons for gear. I think we put that as a pro for gear overall. Cons is you're not able to run infinity realistically, as I have explained earlier. So that you kind of lose out on. But pros is the speed. You're able to move around really fast. Pros is the safety. You have a nice big army to help you out, keep you alive. More pros is just fun. It's just a lot of more fire damage. I think it's really cool to see. It's just another variation of the build. So that's my take on it, guys. You're welcome to like it, not like it, think it's trash, think it's cool. That's for the user to decide. I think it's pretty cool. I'm just gonna mess around on it with Plugy for a little while, while we wait for the next season or whatever. Maybe I'll rebuild my Flame Bellow Barbarian and build them this way just for fun, just to keep it live. But there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll maybe if you have any opinions or adjustments, I'll make them and try them out, and maybe do another video. But as always, guys, like, subscribe if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy my videos, if you want to see more. I really appreciate the following I've gotten so far and the support I've gotten from you guys. So I want to keep doing it. So your support is keeping me going. So I appreciate it. All right, everybody, that is the video. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.